So this is me, and this is a girl, and we're about to meet each other for the very first time. Well, we kind of knew each other. You see, we connected on Instagram a while back, and we had a lot in common, like a lot in common. And so we decided eventually, hey, let's meet up, see if there's anything there. But she's really busy, and I'm really busy, so I came up with a bit of an unconventional idea for our first meeting. And so this is the story of two people going to Iceland on a first date. So she trusted me to plan the entire itinerary, so we hit the ground running and immediately went to one of the most amazing places in Iceland. So those are real icebergs that have broken off from real glaciers and are in the real water. And then they get smashed against the coast, against this amazing black sand beach. And that's why they call it Diamond Beach. Iceland felt empty. It was like we were the only two people there. Now, they're still in the grips of the coronavirus pandemic, and we were following all Icelandic regulations, but we had an absolute blast chit-chatting as we drove around the southern coast of Iceland and even encountered some of Iceland's famous unpredictable weather. The snow was inconvenient, it was a bit cold, but still, the views, the views were worth it. Day 2 began atop a cliff, looking out over incredible vistas like this black sand beach, looking at the lighthouse on top of this cliff, and seeing this incredible arch in the cliff on the southern coast of Iceland. We hopped in the car to drive out to a waterfall, but first we found this cave where the entrance to the cave looked like Yoda from Star Wars, so we had to stop and had to wave. And then we began the hike up to the waterfall. You see, some waterfalls in Iceland you can basically drive right up to. Others require a little bit of a hike. And I promise you, the hike is worth it. From Skogafoss, we went to the wreckage of a DC-3 aircraft that crashed on the Icelandic coast in 1972. Now, everybody survived, so it wasn't weird being there or anything like that. But the wreckage is just kind of sitting there on the coast, so you can walk up to it, and you can walk right into it. So we did. Now, the plane is on the southern coast, and it is a ways out from the main ring road. The hike back to the car is remote, it is barren, and it is just beautiful. And that night we took in the sunset and took in the storm along an incredible black sand beach next to the town of Vik and got ready for an amazing final full day in Iceland. Skogafoss is one of the most popular waterfalls in Iceland, and unfortunately, it can get a little crowded sometimes, even though nobody was there when we were there. So go behind the Skogar Museum, climb over this little fence, hike up a small little trail, and you will be greeted with one of the most incredible waterfalls in Iceland, Kirkjufell. could even walk behind this waterfall, and it just proves the point that just next to some of the more popular waterfalls in Iceland are these undiscovered or relatively undiscovered secrets that are just absurd. And we made our way to the Snæfellsnes Peninsula to go visit what Game of Thrones fans might call Arrow Mountain, but the Icelandics, they call it Kirkjufell, or Church Mountain. And there was only one way to wrap up this trip. It's by going for a visit in a helicopter to visit the newest part of Iceland, currently erupting from a volcano. Now, we began to wind down our trip, and we had to stop and get a COVID test so we could come back into the United States. And we just had this crazy, absurd, wonderful visit to Iceland. But wait. How is the date? You know what? What if it doesn't matter? What if the real story here is the world is reopening and two people believed in each other enough and believed in adventure enough to get on a plane and go to another continent with somebody they had just met? I think that's the real story here. The world is finally healing and we can get back to adventure again. So would I do this again? We'll just have to wait and find out.